G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a bit of an update announcement on the Melbourne Marathon. I'll talk to you about that shortly, but I'll give you a quick recap on my training for the week. Probably the biggest week that I'll ever run in my life, 126 Ks. G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. What a big week it was this week, and it may well stand as the most kilometres I run in a single week for my whole life, who knows. 126 Ks, so it's obviously the most I've done in this training block, and there's a fair chance in the future that I won't be running that far because I'm not going to have as much spare time as I have in this training block, because hopefully I'll never be in lockdown again. The run kicking off in the corner at the moment is Sunday morning's run. Change the camera settings a little bit so that you can hopefully see the wildlife for a little bit longer rather than just flashing through in the time warp there. So hopefully it's not too jumpy. But Tim over in England, enjoy the Australian wildlife. I know it's been a while since you've got to see it. It was a really good experience actually. It's great to be coming down the other side of the mountain now, bringing in the speed work, a little less volume, and certainly dropping off the volume a lot over the next couple of weeks in preparation to run a fast marathon on the 10th of October. Although I did run a little bit further this week, I think it was 5 Ks more than last week, it was nowhere near as tiring. Like in last week's vlog I was expressing that I was pretty exhausted come Friday, but I didn't really feel that at all this week, which was surprising. But great as well. I think it just shows how quickly the body can adapt to different demands that you put on it. So yeah, 126 Ks in the book. My Saturday long run was really going to be a big key focus for this week. Last week I was really pleased with the 35K run that I did on the Saturday, and this week I just did 32.5, and it was a little bit of a struggle. The first 10 or 15 Ks were faster than I did last week, but I think I just went out a little bit too quick and really died on the way back. So it was a bit of a struggle. I wouldn't call it disappointing, but I would definitely say it was a learning experience. I am, with every long run, learning more and more just to hold back more at the start, and just save plenty for the back half of the run. So I don't think I'll ever be the kind of guy who can negative split a race, which is running faster in the second half than you do in the first half. I don't know, maybe I'll mature into that kind of runner, but I got the feeling my first half's always going to be quicker than my second half. But I will definitely be trying to hone that and make some wise decisions on the speed that I go out at before the 10th of October, because I do not want to be struggling for 20 Ks of a marathon. That is not my idea of fun, especially if it's going to be counterproductive in terms of the time that I end up with. Also managed a whole chunk of walking this week too, which is good. 38 Ks I think it was. That equates to about 7 or 8 hours of walking for the week. Yeah, so lots of time exercising, but I was also paying really good attention to recovery as well. Lots of hot Epsom salt baths. The walking is part of the recovery too, and a couple of sessions of stretching each week just seems to be keeping any niggles in check. The pains I normally get first are knee pains, and I think it's just the beginning of runner's knee, but it's stretching, got a little bit of a stretching regiment or routine that I do just when I'm watching TV, just a couple of times a week. Don't need to do it every day. My family laughs at me while I do it, but it seems to do wonders in just keeping those niggles away and stopping from developing into an injury, which I'm very pleased to say that even after 6 months of running, I still haven't missed a running session due to injury, and I really hope that can continue too. So for the week coming, yeah, dropping down the kilometres and picking up the intensity a bit. I don't want to push myself too hard and get injured now, so I don't want to be running sort of tempo or threshold runs every single day. What I thought I might be able to do is basically leave a day and a half rest between each run and do a really light recovery jog in between. So I think the plan is Tuesday morning, go for a hard threshold style run, Tuesday afternoon, just do a bit of a recovery jog. Wednesday morning, still a recovery jog, and then Wednesday afternoon, so a day and a half after my last threshold, just hit it with another high intensity thing at the track maybe, or just another short course that I like to test myself on. So I think that's going to be the plan for this week and maybe the next couple of weeks. Every probably 36 hours try and do a high intensity exercise. I've got the time, I'm on school holidays, so I might as well use the chance while I've got it. And as I've been saying for the last few weeks, the plan is really just to get plenty of speed into the legs, because I think I've done all I can do in terms of building my aerobic base, and now I just want to make sure that I can maintain a high intensity or a high speed in my marathon when I get to run it. Speaking of which, the news from the week is that they've actually moved the date of the Melbourne Marathon. So I just figured it would be cancelled and I'd be running it on my own. So I'm still going to be running it on my own on October 10, but they've moved the official event to December, mid-December. I think it's the 11th or the 12th of December, which is good and bad. It's good that I'll be able to run it, but there's just no way that I can just train for another 11 weeks and go into it off at like a 25-week run-up. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to stick with running this on October 10 on my own, with a bit of support from a few friends on the track, and then just have a couple of weeks rest, a bunch of training, and then run the actual event in December. So it was definitely not part of the original plan, but I will be now hopefully running 2 marathons in the space of about 9 weeks. It does give me a chance to, have 2 cracks at running a really good time, but also to run a bit, or to learn a bit of race strategy as well. So I think for October 10, I'll probably be running a little bit quicker at the start and trying to hold on as long as I can. The dumb way to run, but the way that seems to suit me. And I think on the actual Melbourne Marathon, I'll try and go out with a pace group and pace myself a little bit better throughout the whole run. But we'll see, I'll fine tune all this over the next couple of months. Alright, just before I go, my tip of the week this week is, if you do not normally exercise with anyone else, walking, running, riding, whatever it is that you do, just give it a go this week. It's definitely been a learning experience for me. I always thought that I just enjoyed running on my own, but the more I do it, the more I really appreciate it and just feel silly for not having tried it earlier. I think it makes it more sustainable. It's more, it sort of holds you to your goals and your plans a little bit more. You're not going to hit the snooze button so many times, although I definitely always hit the snooze button one too many times every Sunday. Sorry, I'm always late at them. But it gives you that little bit of accountability, but it is so much more enjoyable. I find the kilometers just tick by so much quicker. When I go out running on my own, I can often feel like, I'm just waiting for the end of the run, waiting for it all to be over. But when I'm out chatting with a friend as I go, I just find it so much more enjoyable. I definitely still enjoy going out on my own for walks and runs, listening to podcasts, listening to music, or just running and being in nature. But I definitely look forward to those runs each week where I get to go out with a friend, someone with similar goals, and just enjoying the chat. The other thing it does is it does remind you to just hold your pace back. You should be able to, for most of your runs each week, be able to hold a conversation with someone. So I definitely put that to the test every Sunday morning. So if you are at all like I was 6 months ago, just always running and walking or exercising on your own, get out there, give it a try with somebody. I don't think you're going to regret it. Can't guarantee it, but I don't think you will. Alright, I think that'll do for this week. Hopefully when you see me next, I would have run some different PBs of different distances. We'll see how we go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the Wannabe Runner, and I will see you again next week. Bye bye.